Grain is an essential part of the American diet. Bread is often the primary source of grain in America. As you can see, there are a lot of options. So how do you know if you're making the healthiest choice? MyPlate and the Dietary Guidelines for Americans recommend making at least half of the grains you eat every day whole grains. So what is a whole grain and how can you tell if you're getting a whole grain? Well, whole grains contain all three parts of the grain: the bran, the endosperm, and the germ. Refined grains like white bread contain only one part of the grain called the endosperm. So the endosperm has a lot of natural sugars that give us energy, but they don't have a lot of other nutrients like vitamins and minerals. Whole grains, on the other hand, contain all three parts of the grain, like the bran and the germ, which have a lot of vitamins and minerals, fiber, and protein, which are all important for keeping us healthy and preventing disease. So how can you tell if your favorite bread is a whole grain? Well, let's start by looking at the label. You can tell something is a whole grain by looking at the ingredients list. If the very first ingredient lists a whole grain or begins with the word whole or whole wheat, you know that it is a whole grain. And that's the only way to ensure that it is a whole grain. Another sign you can look for on the label is the 100% whole grain stamp. Companies that are members of the Whole Grain Council can qualify to have a stamp indicating if their product is a whole grain. The council reviews the product carefully and allows the golden stamp to be displayed on packages only if it is a whole grain.